She checked in at 7:14 in the morning. She handed over her passport. She smiled at the gate agent. She walked down the jet bridge. And then, she was gone. Not from the flight, not from the airport. Gone, as in, the airline has no record she ever boarded. The seat she paid for sat empty. Her luggage arrived at the destination without her. And the most chilling part? No one noticed she was missing for 4 days. Stay with me, because this case goes deeper than a simple disappearance. This is a story about a broken system, a desperate family, and a question that has never, not once, been answered. How does a person board a plane and cease to exist? To understand what happened, you need to understand who she was. Her name, for the purposes of this video, is Sarah. I'm using a composite name because this story draws from several real documented disappearance cases. Cases that share an almost identical pattern. And I want you to focus on the pattern, not just one headline. Sarah was 34 years old, a project manager, the kind of person her coworkers described as organized to the point of being a little annoying about it. She had a calendar app color-coded by category. She sent follow-up emails. She was not the kind of person who missed a flight. She was not the kind of person who disappeared. On the morning in question, Sarah was traveling alone. She was flying from a mid-sized regional airport to visit her sister, a trip she made 3 or 4 times a year. She knew the route cold. Same airline, same connection city, same gate, practically. She texted her sister at 6:52 a.m. "At the airport, flight's on time, see you tonight." That was the last message anyone received from her. Her phone went silent at 7:31 a.m., 17 minutes after she was recorded checking in. Here's where this story stops being a sad missing persons case and starts being something much stranger. When Sarah's sister called the airline 4 days later, 4 days, because Sarah had told her she'd be off the grid for a few days after landing, taking some personal time, the airline did something unexpected. They told her the flight had no record of a passenger by that name. Now, before you think this is a data error, a name mix-up, a bureaucratic hiccup, her sister did everything right. She provided the booking confirmation number, the seat number, the credit card used, the check-in timestamp from the airline's own app. The airline's response? That seat was recorded as empty on departure. How is that possible? There are, broadly, 3 ways a person can disappear between check-in and boarding. 1. They never made it to the gate. They checked in digitally, walked into the terminal, and left, or were taken, before ever reaching the jet bridge. 2. They boarded, but were removed from the aircraft before departure. A medical event, a security concern, a quiet escort off the plane that nobody documented properly. 3. Something went wrong with the record itself, a system error, a deliberate deletion. Something, or someone, scrubbed her from the manifest. Each of these possibilities has happened in real, documented cases, and each one leads to a completely different investigation. The security cameras at the airport, and this is important, showed Sarah walking toward her gate at 7:19 a.m. The footage ends there. Not because the cameras cut out, because there are no cameras past the pre-security checkpoint in that wing of the terminal. A gap in coverage that the airport's own safety audit had flagged 18 months earlier. Nothing had been done about it. When law enforcement finally got involved, which took longer than it should have because Sarah was an adult who had allegedly chosen to go off the grid, and adults are allowed to do that, they ran into a wall immediately. The airline's passenger manifest for that flight had been archived and partially overwritten as part of a routine data cycle. Standard procedure, the airline said. Records older than 72 hours are compressed. The window for recovering a clean copy had closed before anyone knew to ask for it. This is the part of the case that investigators found most disturbing. Not because it was proof of wrongdoing, but because it meant that even if something terrible had happened on that jet bridge or in that terminal, the paper trail was already gone. The airline cooperated. To their credit, they handed over everything they had. What they had, unfortunately, wasn't much. One partial log showing a boarding scan, but the employee ID attached to the scanner didn't match anyone on shift that morning. One baggage record showing her checked bag loaded onto the plane. And one anomaly, a seat assignment change made at 7:22 a.m. that moved Sarah from seat 14C, a window, to seat 22F, closer to the rear of the aircraft. No one knows who made that change. The airline could not explain it. It was not made through Sarah's app. It was not made at the gate desk. It was made from a terminal inside the airline's own internal system. The investigation expanded. Phone records, financial records. Sarah's personal life was examined in detail, as it always is in these cases, and as is always painful for the family to endure. Nothing pointed to a deliberate disappearance, no unusual withdrawals, no signs of a planned escape, no secret second life. Just a woman who texted her sister at 6:52 and then, somehow, stopped existing. Here's what makes this story more than a single tragedy. Sarah's case is not unique. In researching this video, I found documented cases in 6 different countries sharing almost identical elements. A solo female traveler, a regional airport, a check-in with no corresponding boarding record, and a data gap that appeared, whether through negligence or design, at the exact moment investigators needed it most. The cases span from the mid-1990s through to last year. In some of them, the person eventually turned up, sometimes weeks later, sometimes under circumstances they refused to fully explain. In others, the disappearance remains open. What connects them is not a single perpetrator or organization. What connects them is a vulnerability.
Modern airports are extraordinarily well monitored in the areas that matter for terrorism and customs enforcement. But the space between check-in and the gate, the administrative back end of airline booking systems, the handoff between ground staff and cabin crew, these are, in the words of one aviation security consultant I found quoted in a 2022 industry report, legacy systems operating on trust rather than verification. What that means in plain English, there are gaps, and people, the wrong kind of people, know where they are. Sarah's case, and the cases like hers, remain open. Her family has not stopped looking. Her sister runs a small social media page that still posts updates, still asks questions, still tags the airline and the airport in the hope that someone, somewhere, will remember something. The seat assignment anomaly was never explained. The employee ID that didn't match? Investigated, ruled inconclusive. The investigation closed due to insufficient evidence. Her luggage, which arrived at the destination, was held for 11 days and then in accordance with airline policy, destroyed. Let me say that again. Her luggage, potentially the last physical evidence of what happened to her, was destroyed by policy, before investigators had formally requested it be preserved, by 2 days. I've spent a lot of time with cases like this. And the thing that stays with me, the thing I can't shake, is not the mystery itself. It's how easy it was. Not one dramatic act, not one spectacular failure. Just a camera blind spot, a data retention policy, a 72-hour archive window, a seat assignment nobody can explain. Small things, ordinary things, things that happen every single day in airports all over the world. Window. If you're flying alone, and most of us do at some point, here's what cases like Sarah's have taught investigators. Screenshot your boarding pass with the timestamp. Text someone when you reach the gate, not just when you check in. And if you're ever escorted anywhere unusual by airport or airline staff, make noise. Tell someone near you where you're going. None of this is to frighten you. Most flights are uneventful. Most airports are safe. But Sarah checked in. She walked toward her gate. And somewhere in the gap between those two ordinary moments, something went wrong. We don't know what. We may never know. If you know anything about cases like this, or if you want me to go deeper on any of the individual cases I referenced, drop it in the comments. This community finds things investigators miss. It's happened before. I'll see you in the next one.